That would have been quite a development. So Joyce Kimeli was the double champion at the SEC conference meet, 3K, 5K, which is what Katie Izzo did for Arkansas a year ago at the conference. So that'll be an interesting battle between the two. Arkansas with just one entry, and obviously the hosts, and a pretty big favorite for the team title just based on the number of athletes they were able to qualify through to this meet. Remember, it's the top 16 athletes in every one of these events and the top 12 teams in the distance medley relay. So it's the cream of the crop in collegiate track and field as Joyce Kimeli takes up the early lead.
Probably not a spot she wants to be in, Dwight, because she stalked Katie Izzo in both those long distance races at the SEC championship and then went around her with about 200 meters to go.
And one wonders if she's turning to Grace Forbes of Rice and saying, would you like to lead?
Go.
I would like to invite you to lead a national championship race. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
I like looking at the backs of people much more than looking at this. Yeah, listen, you're just going to do it because I'm going to move out here. Nope, no takers.
This pack also features a bunch of women that will be running Monday over in Stillwater in the cross-country race with Magnus and Kimeli and Hannah Steele from NC State. Oddly enough, the one that is not is Katie Izzo. Even though Arkansas goes out there as the defending champ, she does not have cross-country eligibility. So she is free here to run without any concern about going 8K and 6K in Stillwater on Monday.
And as much as that is a really a lot to ask of the distance crews in these great schools like NAU and Arkansas and many others around the country on the women's side especially, the fact that they're getting to run the national championship after a year of not being able to compete at all from this meet forward last year has to make it a little bit easier. Awfully hard on you to have that demand 2 national championships in 4 days, but I'm sure they're happy that they're able to go to Stillwater and actually contest that championship.
Perhaps, you know, the biggest part is, right, we're running in lovely air-conditioned, temperate conditions, and Monday in Stillwater, the weather's supposed to be 50-ish, which wouldn't be bad, but it's going to rain the next couple of days, so it'll be a mud, sloppy track, and, you know, you'll be itching to go, you know what, the indoor track was really, that was nice.
Yeah.
Climate control.
But 50 is a nice temperature for a cross-country race.
Yeah.
Well, Joyce Kimeli continuing to reluctantly lead. The other 15 women saying, you're doing a great job. Carry on.
But unlike Kiptoo, who took it out and decided it was a me-only race, she's not getting away from anybody.
No, and she's not exactly running a blistering pace either, which has got to be part of her race plan if she finds herself in the front, because she does have that great finishing speed, so no reason to take it out of herself.
There she goes. She moves to the outside, just begging somebody to take that lead, but it's so slow already. She doesn't want to lose her tempo. There you see, take a look at the 4th position young lady right there, Ellie Hennis. She's got the number 5 on her hip. She took a redshirt year at the right time, so she got a chance to come back and compete outdoors with that added season. But she anchored the North Carolina Wolfpack to a winning ACC DMR title last weekend. She's a 4-time All-American. She's run 15:31 outdoors. It's an outstanding personal best, and her mother is the distance coach there at North Carolina State, and she was a distance runner as well, Dwight.
Well, our crack statistician Kevin Sailors tells us we're on a 16:25 pace, which is not exactly blistering, but in the national championships it's not unusual to see a middle distance race go tactical, which is exactly what's happened here. So, and you can see how they're bunching up. This is where you've got danger. The 16 women on the track within about 12 meters of each other and not a whole lot of room to run. So your only option is to go wide, which makes you run further distance, but it does help avoid carnage, which we would like to see avoided. So coming up with 17 laps to go, we're going to step aside for a few moments, come back with more coverage of the women's 5,000 meter final here at the NCAA Championships.
We are back with 15 laps remaining in the women's 5,000 meters here at the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. It is the longest track event. 15-16 minutes for these women. If you really want something that's a long competition, Dwight, Dan, we're approaching.
More to come from her, but 3 athletes remaining in the women's pole vault.
And they are raising the bar as we speak, as we get back to the women's 5,000 meter final. Joyce Camelli, the reluctant leader early in the race, and then stepped aside, almost stopped, so that Grace Forbes of Rice, who's now in second, could lead for a while, and then she took up the lead again. So they're coming around with 11 laps remaining in this 25 lap race. Really haven't lost anybody.
Well, Joyce Camelli, she moved aside, let somebody else pace, but then she jumped back in there, and I thought she was going to take off. But I then look at the laps remaining. It's like it's a little too early for that. You'll see Katie Izzo really make some moves. 6-7 laps to go, I think. I don't think Katie Izzo wants to try to outpace everybody over the last 400 meters here. But you know, we've got athletes in this race from 16:02 to 15:31 personal best, so 30 seconds in PR differences, and everybody is going to have an opportunity to win this race.
Katie Izzo giving the side eye over to Coach Lance Harder, and he told her, yeah, you need to move up and take this thing over, and that's exactly what she's doing, and that's got to make Joyce Camelli just so happy. This is what she's used to. Now watch how the pace has quickened. So coming up with 9 laps remaining, let's step aside for a moment and get caught up on some field event action.
Here she is, a winner this season. Congratulations to her.
Back to the 5,000 meters with coming up 8 laps to go. Will be 7 when they make through this turn. Katie Izzo now pushing the pace, and it really has made a big difference. The crowd is now really strung out once Katie Izzo took over about 2 laps ago. 7 laps remaining. This is the way Joyce Camelli likes to run it. She did this 2 weeks ago at the conference meet in both the 3,000 and the 5,000. It's really just a core group of 6 up front. And now Izzo is moving aside.
I just don't think Katie Izzo wants to kind of recreate the races at the SEC Championship. She led all the way. She pushed the pace. Joyce Camelli just waited on her shoulder, and she went around her in both the 3K and the 5K. We'll get some different leaders here, but the 2 Wolfpack athletes, Ellie Hennis and Hannah Steelman, are up there. Michigan State athlete Jenna Magnus is there. Grace Forbes out of Rice. You're going to mix it up there just a little bit.
And just like that, they bunch up, and now there's a group of about 9 athletes who are in it. So I'm not really sure what that accomplished. First of all, Camelli can go with pace if necessary, so that doesn't really help Izzo so much. And we know what kind of finishing speed she has. So it's a bit of a dilemma. Coming up now, 5 laps remaining. So 9 athletes running for the 8 scoring positions and All-American designations available. And right now it's anybody's race. Just 800 meters remaining in this 5,000 meter women's final. Somebody in that group is not going to score a point for their team.
The pace is quickening, but it's almost agonizing waiting for somebody to jump out there and really take off.
Ellie Hannes from North Carolina State is there. Hannah Steelman of North Carolina State is there. So 2 Tar Heels. No, that's not right. Not Tar Heels. That's UNC. Right up in the front, and Camelli still leading, completely not in her game plan, as you can see her suddenly start to quicken the pace ever so slightly. And they string out. And Forbes has been the one that's been consistently in second place for most of this race. .400 meters to go. Camelli, Forbes, Hennis, Steelman.
And in the maroon and gold there from Minnesota, that's Bethany Haas, the Big Ten champion. She's moving up.
And Izzo is well back. Might have a problem scoring a point for the Razorbacks. At the bell. And they're going to start to pass lap runners. Camelli can use that to her advantage. It's Camelli and Hennis. And Camelli did an awful lot of leading, an awful lot of push in the air side. And Haas has also got a full head of steam coming into this finishing stretch, but it's going to be Joyce Camelli, Haas, and Hennis in the women's 5,000 meters. And Izzo is not going to score a point for Arkansas. That is a big disappointment for the Razorbacks. They were certainly looking for a good amount of points with their single entry.
Ellie Hannes looked like she waited and was going to get the drop on Joyce Camelli, but Joyce Camelli just too strong. She gained so much confidence from those SEC championship wins. Bethany Haas is your second place finisher. Ellie Hannes goes 15:49, but you know, you looked at the pace, midway through, and it was almost laughable. But still, Joyce Camelli comes through, runs 15:48, only a couple seconds off her seasonal best.
Yeah, she's shaking her head. That was a very strangely run race, but she is the champion.